video record statement of that minor child was turned over. His face was blurred. If we are turning over the one of the minor child, may we blur his face?
Well, you're not turning it over yet, ma'am.
All right, understood. But if we get there, may we blur?
Yeah, if we will cross that bridge when we get to it. At this point, the defense will have an opportunity to get a look at it during the deposition, and if there's need for them to have copies of it, because we're talking about identities of juveniles and things that I believe are appropriate under the protective order provisions of Rule 3.220. But if it becomes an issue after you've seen them during depo, we'll work on that then. All right. As to, I think the next area that the defense raises, text messages between Detective Elosegui and Mr. Ramos. Now that goes to paragraph 6D of the original, of the third motion to compel, and it refers over to paragraph 9 in the state's response. So paragraph 2 in the defense pleading, paragraph 9 in the state pleading. Text messages between Elosegui and Ramos. The state indicates this should be denied as they turned over the text messages between them on June 24 of this year, and they are not aware of any additional messages. The defense, on the other hand, asks me to order all additional text messages after October 19, 2023. So, are there any text messages between the detective and Mr. Ramos that have not been turned over to the defense? Ms. Morales?
I don't believe so. Upon receiving this again, reached out to Detective Elosegui and asked, and was advised that the only message was what had been turned over, which was when Mr. Ramos sent a couple of pictures, I guess, from a baby monitor, and that was it. So I know both of them are subject to deposition. To the best of my knowledge, that's all that exists at this time.
And excuse my ignorance in this sense, but you guys have access to all the discovery and you've been working super hard. I only get what's brought before me. Okay?
Right.
I'm assuming that Mr. Ramos is the stepfather?
Yes, he's the father of, yes, he's the stepfather.
And the father of the infant that was in the same room at the time of Ms. Garcia's death. Okay,
yes.
Good. Let me say this, because I'm running into this issue in other cases. I'm going to ask that you make sure that Detective Elosegui understands that his communications by text with Mr. Ramos, who I'm sure is some type of witness for you in this case, that those text messages are discoverable. They are statements of witnesses, okay? They are not to be deleted. They are not to be destroyed. And any text messages between the detective and a witness are to be turned over under Rule 3.220.
I will let him know, Judge.
Ms. Riello, you will have an opportunity to depose, obviously, these two witnesses. And if there are any text messages that you learn about between them, you will inform the court. We'll order them produced. Okay?
Your Honor, and just to make the record even more clear, I don't know, obviously I don't know, but I have, as I've said, I've reviewed the discovery. I've done so thoroughly, and it appears to me with certainty, based on what has been provided, that at the very least, on November 27th, 2023, there were additional messages on the same thread that the state previously provided. So I am asking, and I could, you know what, I could go ahead and file another motion and I could attach that as an exhibit.
Let's do that. Okay. And in fact, perhaps if you guys were to pick up the phone and speak with each other, Ms. Morales, you might call your detective and identify those specific dates and see what you got.
Yes, I'd be happy to. From what I know, that's all there was, but I'm happy to tell him to look specifically back to that date.
You're under an obligation to turn him over. And yes, if you don't see him in the next week or two, Ms. Riello, you'll let me know by way of a motion. But the state is on notice that they're required to turn over the text messages. You've put them on notice that they may be missing some. And I'm going to put in, let's make the second thing we're putting in this order, all text messages between Detective Elosegui and Mr. Ramos shall be produced. All right, paragraph 3 in the defense pleading at page 4 corresponds to paragraph 10 in the state's pleading. That deals with Detective Elosegui and Mr. Verdecia, who, what I'm learning about from your pleadings, cleaned up the murder scene after it had been released by the police. The state indicates that they or seem to say there are no text messages prior to today, and that they have sent a video that Mr. Verdecia took while he was cleaning the bloody murder scene after it had been released. Is there a reason to believe, Ms. Riello, that there's something else out there?
Well, I think before we even get there,
yes, ma'am.
With this particular item, I had an issue because it's kind of wacky or illogical to conclude that I would know of text messages on the 17th of July that were not exchanged until the 6th of August. So again, I'll repeat, I don't know what I don't know, but reviewing the discovery that has been provided so far, I do believe that there are additional text messages between Detective Elosegui and Luis Verdecia. Now, what I'm asking for is not only those additional text messages, but I'm also asking for a better exhibit than the one that was provided, because the one that was provided, although it says that it was exchanged on the 6th of August, there's no timestamp, there's no date stamp, so there's no way for us to see exactly when that was exchanged between Detective Elosegui and Verdecia.
Okay. After you take their depots, if you're still unable to figure that out, then we'll go ahead and do that. But right now, because we're one of only 4 states in the country that allow pretrial statements from witnesses, I'm going to ask the parties to avail themselves.
The video recorded statement